Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our training call for Tuesday, December 13th of 2011. Tonight, the thank you economy and why now is the time to crush it. I might be a little dopey tonight. I was up last night till well after 3 o'clock in the morning reading Gary Vaynerchuk's new book, The Thank You Economy. I had previously read his other book, Crush It, a couple of years ago, and it was an amazing book about using social media to build your brand and tap into your passion. He's a great author, a very successful guy, and that'll be the bulk of the first part of our call tonight. And then we're going to move into goal setting with Chris Lopez. He's also on the call, so he'll be co-hosting the call with me tonight. That's his picture you see up there in the upper left-hand corner with that smiling face, and he's got something about goal setting that is critical for successful goal setting, and a lot of people miss this, and if you miss this, it can discourage you. So you're definitely going to want to hang on for this second half of the call because Chris is really locked onto this one concept, and it's made a big difference to me as I've gone forward to build my business. So you have that to look forward to after the first part of the call, which is the thank you economy, based on my own experience, the things that I've learned from the Integritas Group and the people who've sponsored me in my USANA business, and it's in total alignment with what Gary Vaynerchuk teaches as well, and it has been so successful at doing. And that's me circled down there in the bottom of the middle of the page, George Fox. So I'm your host until Chris takes over on the call tonight. I'm very delighted that everybody's out there. We usually have some guests. Sometimes we have as many as 45 or 50 people on this call, and many people will come back and listen to the call afterwards. So we usually have a very good audience for this call, and I appreciate all of you coming out for this training. I've already gone through the agenda, but we'll go through team member successes right up front very quickly, and we've got a lot of them tonight, but we'll buzz right through those. A little bit of USANA news, something that one of my good friends in the business, Robert Hirabayashi, will love to know about and has a good shot at, by the way. Then we'll get right into the thank you economy and why it is so absolutely critical to what we do in our business and how we're doing it, and it is totally in alignment with the USANA Health Sciences, the company we work with and represent. It's amazing how the alignment is, and we are moving into an era where our model of doing business is the way it's going to be done for everybody in the future. And then Chris will get right into the goal setting for 2012, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. Once again, our motto, build it big, build it permanent, have fun, help people, and make money. And once again, I have that box, help people, in red, because when you add value to other people's lives, and the more you do that, the more money you make. And if you are passionate about it and have fun doing it, you're going to keep doing that. And tonight, it is so imperative that we help people in business and with our products. And it makes such a big difference. It's all about helping people. That's really all it's about. And then we make money as a consequence of helping people. It's not the other way around. If you're chasing the dollars, you won't be sincere, you won't be authentic. And in the new model, the way the whole world is headed, people who are chasing the dollar are going to lose out. And we see that with businesses happening all the time now. Okay, let's just bump right into team member successes. We'll do the top 50 growth by state, week ending last Friday on December 9th. And there's the Integritas Group for Nevada, Chris Lopez and Jason Wells. Congratulations, guys, number 3. And Gemma's back on the chart from last week. She wasn't there last week, but this week, look at that, right back at number 1 up in West Virginia. So congratulations, Gemma. And Joanne Ness in New Jersey, way to go, girl, number 4. That's fantastic. And last week, we had Dr. Sam Young on the call along with Jason Parker. And if you missed that call last week, you are going to want to go back and listen to that call. We have it out there in our library. You can find it and listen to it because Dr. Sam and Jason Parker, silver Olympic medalist, told 2 amazing stories at how these products, the USANA products, have made a huge difference in their lives, just as far as Jason Parker achieving his silver medal and the health gains that Dr. Sam Young got from the products. Absolutely amazing. But back to our team successes. I'm digressing. Dr. Sam, congratulations. for your number 5 position on the Top Growth 50. I can't think of a more deserving guy and a guy that spends more time really helping his customers than Dr. Sam Young, and helping the rest of us in the business as well. So thank you, Dr. Sam, and congratulations. And there's yours truly, George Fox, in Meg Corso number 16 for the Top Growth 50. And Jackie Ramirez, she was on the chart last week. I know Jackie well, and she's down in Miami. And congratulations, Jackie Ramirez, for being number 35 in the Top Growth 50. Okay, this is my favorite team success chart, the top 50 income earners by state. There's the Integritas Group, Chris Lopez and Jason Wells, number 4 in Nevada. And Gemma right there at number 2 in West Virginia. Way to go, Gemma. Glad to have her on my team. What a blessing. And Joanne Ness, it's always fun working with you and sharing with you. Congratulations on number 12. And there's Dr. Sam, number 17. And that's me hanging in there with Meg Corso at number 20 for the top 50 income earners by state for the week ending Friday, December 9th. Oh, and also earning checks on my team this week, Linda Mullins and Andrea Bogle. Congratulations to you. You didn't make the top 50, but you got some checks last week, so congratulations. Okay, top 50 preferred customer enrollers by state. Oh my gosh, look there. Gemma Hughes, number 1. No surprise. And Joanne Ness in New Jersey. Way to go. Right in there at number 1. And Core Fitness Solutions, Linda Mullins. Also in my business, I'm running a weight loss business. She's really gotten reactivated in her USANA business, and this is the second week in a row, top 50 preferred customer enrollers. So pretty soon you'll see those customers start paying off, and she'll start appearing on those other charts for top income earners and top 50 income earners, growth 50 for USANA. So by state. So congratulations, Linda Mullins. Like I said, I'm a little punchy tonight from lack of sleep last night, but the book was absolutely amazing that we'll be talking about tonight. Here's a little USANA news. They just announced you could win a year's supply of Rev 3. Robert, are you listening? Robert did a call a few weeks back on the science of energy drinks with me, and he is a Rev 3 aficionado. And it's what it is. You can flex your creative muscle with Rev 3 viral video content and make your own Rev 3 video. They're going to judge them. They're going to actually put it out on the Rev 3 site and put it out on YouTube for the one that's judged the best. You can actually read about that out on USANA today about the contest. And the contest ends the end of this month. So if you're going to do a video, your own creative video of Rev 3, and boy, I'm tempted to do one with Robert because, man, I would sure love a free year supply of Rev 3. So that's a little bit of news with USANA. And now let's just move right into the thank you economy. The orange book over on the left was published this year. It just came out in March of this year of 2011, and it's called The Thank You Economy. It was actually Gary Vaynerchuk's. Notice how the pronunciation Vaynerchuk. I'm not not one of the best enunciators in the world, but that's how you pronounce it. And the other book, Crush It, came out in 2009. And the Crush It book was actually how to use your passion, social media, blogging, and all of those kind of things to actually build your own personal brand and create your own wealth in this new economy and brand yourself. It's all about us branding ourselves and delivering absolutely top-notch customer service and customer relationships. That's what Gary's all about. It's about using social media and any other media that we can use, whether it be email or our phone, to actually build an emotional connection with our customers. That's what he's all about. And that's what his new book's about, The Thank You Economy. It's all about why that is so critical and how the economy is actually changing now. And what I did was, one of the problems when you read a great book, and I just finished it last night, is that there's so much fantastic content in that book, I had a hard time of just boiling down the essence of what I could put on the call tonight. So that's what I've done. If you're interested, I would highly recommend The Thank You Economy and Crush It. Both of those books, they're not that long, and they are content rich, and he gives specific things you can do to build your brand and build a relationship with your customer base. And really is what we're trying to do, is what we're working at doing, is building a lifetime relationship with our customer. Because people will buy from the people that they know and trust. And they'll continue to buy from that. When I send out the announcement for the meeting, I'll be running through some statistics here that actually validate that very concept. I don't like to usually put a lot of text on a slide, but the next couple of slides, my apologies, there's a lot of text on those, but I'm just going to read this because it really captures the essence of what Gary is talking about in what he's calling the thank you economy. The thank you economy isn't some abstract concept or wacky business strategy. It's the way we buy and sell, the way we interact as consumers, employees, or entrepreneurs on all levels. The way our marketplace functions has been evolving right before our eyes. Top-down, one-way exchanges are gone, replaced by relationships based on open, honest, and constant communication between customers and business. Today, individuals and brands that out-care and out-love their competition see the biggest returns. That really sums it up, but not quite. So to go on with that, gone are the days when a blizzard of marketing dollars could be used to overwhelm the airways, shut out the competition, and grab consumer awareness. Now, customers' demands for authenticity, originality, creativity, honesty, and good intent have made it necessary for companies and brands to revert to a level of customer service rarely seen since our grandparents' day, when business owners often knew their customers personally and gave them individual attention. And I've got some great examples I'll be giving about this very concept tonight and how it's actually played out in my business. This is the last slide with a lot of text on it, but it really substantiates what I said on those previous two slides about the thank you economy. And by the way, all of this information I've been presenting on these slides is all from Gary's two books, or off of his website, or a video that I've watched that he's done recently. So consider these emerging customer statistics, and these statistics are new. They didn't even exist a few years ago. It's amazing how fast the market is actually changing. Like you said, it's changing right before our very eyes. 85% of U.S. consumers say they would pay 5% to 25% more to ensure a superior customer experience. That's amazing. Everyone says everybody's so price sensitive these days. There's some truth to that, but that is melting away for a superior customer experience. 76% of consumers say they appreciate it when companies take a personal interest in them. 40% of consumers switch to buying from a competitor because of its reputation for great customer service. 55% cite great customer service, not product or prices, as their primary reason for recommending a company or product. 66% said that a great customer service experience was their primary driver for greater spending. That says a lot, those statistics, and that's the way we're going. And not only these statistics telling us what's happening right now, if you look at how much they've changed, he had prior stats for just a couple of years ago, these numbers weren't anywhere close to this. So this is changing very, very fast. So what is one of the big things Gary talks about in his book and is being done out there that's not working anymore? And it's what's been being done for the last 50 or 60 years, and it's gotten worse and worse over time. It's called push marketing. Push marketing is a company or an individual, anybody that has a business, and they just start pushing content at you. They start pushing information at you. You see it all the time. Billboards are a push. Advertisements and banner ads out on the internet are a push. If somebody contacts you and they just start immediately telling you about their product or their service without engaging you, that's a push. That's what he calls push marketing. The information is just being pushed at us, literally being pushed in our face. And the real issue is we're not paying attention to it anymore. It just doesn't work anymore. So companies keep upping it, and they try and get more outlandish in their ads just to try and get your attention with that push-based marketing. But there is a different way, and principally social media has made a lot of this possible and allowed us to scale it much, much bigger. Things like Twitter and Facebook have changed the way that companies can now interact and engage their customer in more of a relationship-based thing where it's two ways. You're getting information and you're giving information. You're going back and forth. And oftentimes you're not even talking specifically about the product or service that you may offer. You may be offering some other value to the customer or the client. So what does Gary call it? He calls it context marketing. Not content marketing, but context marketing. That means that it's being done within the context of whatever it is that's happening. And I'm going to give some examples. The examples to me and some stories are about the easiest way to show you some context marketing. And this one cost me a little bit this week, but I'm going to go to the next slide here, and it's amazing. On Sunday, my wife and I got rear-ended. We were out shopping, and we had to yield to a pedestrian, and we were on a very busy highway, and the person behind us wasn't paying attention, and they rear-ended us. Now, that's not actually a picture of my car. Fortunately, the damage wasn't that bad, and my car is still drivable. But anyways, so we get in this accident, and, of course, I have to turn a claim in. So I turn the claim in, and I call Geico, is my actual insurance company that I use, and I call them up, and I have a wonderful experience. Now, you're always a little stressed out. Your car's been smashed up. You got to get it fixed. You're concerned about the deductible, all of those kind of things. I have a great call with this service representative from Geico, and she was just absolutely amazing. Now, the claim actually has to be filed against the person's insurance company who actually hit me, not Geico. So I had to work with this other insurance company. But Geico is doing everything they can to help me understand what needs to happen, what the sequence is, and so forth. And I just had this wonderful experience on the telephone. Okay? Now, here's the interesting thing. If you look down there at the last sentence of that paragraph, I just copied a little bit of the letter that this was a follow-up letter I got after I got off the phone. It says, if there is anything that I can do during the handling of this claim to ensure that you rate my service a perfect 10, please do not hesitate to contact me. In other words, Geico's saying nothing less than perfect service is okay with us, and we'll do whatever we need to do to make that a perfect 10. So what's the context here? First off, in the new economy, you never know when and how your information about your products or your services are going to get out there, and if you're giving fantastic service. So I get fantastic service from Geico. Now they're on my training call tonight. Now I can tell you on this training call, I don't think we've ever had less than 23 or 24 people on this call. Often we're approaching 45 or 50. And probably this next week or 2 weeks, this call will be watched probably another 15, 20, 30 times. So let's just rough that out and say it's 60 or 70 people get exposed to Geico. So right now, everybody on this call is being exposed to Geico, and I'm giving them free word-of-mouth advertising without Geico asking, without them pushing anything, just because they gave superior customer service and building that relationship with me. Every time I've talked to Geico on the phone, they've been nothing but fantastic, whether it's a question about my bill, increasing or decreasing my rates. It's always a great experience, and I'll recommend Geico to anybody because of the customer service that I'm getting. I don't recommend you go get your car smashed, but if you do, Geico, you definitely want Geico on your side. Now, let's go to another example here. Now, this one is even much more specific, and it's going to be an example that I heard when I was reading the book or I was listening to one of Gary's YouTube recordings. So this is an example of how he picked up some marketing. So here's what happened. Gary Vaynerchuk runs a wine business and sells wine. His dad started a store. He's a Russian immigrant a long time ago. And to make a long story short, when he kind of partnered up with his dad after he got out of high school, he saw the writing was on the wall. He knew the Internet was going to be the way to go. So in 1997, he decided he needed to get on the Internet. And he took this wine business that his parents had that he partnered with, and he took it from a few $1 million a year to over $60 million a year using superior customer service. He cares more about his customers than he cares about his bottom line. Of course he cares about his bottom line, but he cares more about his customers. He says that's his competitive edge, quality customer service, and building that relationship. He actually has, it's called Wine Library TV, and it kind of was his claim to fame on the Internet and really skyrocketed his business, and the whole thing using social media. So here's what happens. Here's his story. And what does it have to do with the Chicago Bears quarterback, Jay Cutler, anyways? Gary's business just recently got an order for wine, a $25,000 order from an individual. I mean, not totally unusual for somebody that's running a $60 million a year business. There's a lot of wine people out there that trade wine, collect wine, and so forth. Not unusual, but Gary asked his assistant to track on social media the gentleman that made this $25,000 purchase. And she tracked him for a week or two and found out that he was a huge fan of the Chicago Bears quarterback, Jay Cutler. It was Jay Cutler Jay Cutler got hurt, Jay Cutler this, Jay Cutler that, Jay Cutler had a fantastic game, I love Jay Cutler, everything about Jay Cutler. So Gary tells his assistant, based on this information he's gathered now from social media, to go out on eBay, find an authentic Jay Cutler jersey that's signed by Jay Cutler, and get that and send it to this person that purchased the $25,000 of wine. Nice gesture. Good customer service. So what's the context? The context is this, he didn't send them. He could have sent them a bottle of rare wine, something like that, but he didn't. The context is the person that bought the $25,000 worth of wine from him was a huge raving fan of Chicago quarterback Jay Cutler. So he sent him a gift that he thought would be meaningful to this person within the context of what they like and love. Nothing happens for 6 weeks. They send the gift out, nothing happens. 6 weeks later, they get an email from this gentleman. He says, I'm a wine collector. I've been doing business with a store here in Chicago for over 10 years, and I've spent well over $1 million on wine with them over 10 years. And they have never showed me a gesture like this. You've just earned my business for the next 10 years. Context marketing. Amazing. Just that act of using social media to find out what the person truly liked and was interested in. Now, let me give you a story from my own personal experience. I was working with a gentleman right after the first of the year in 2011 here, or in January, and it was an internet lead that came in, and he was interested in possibly starting another home-based business because the real estate business he was doing, investing, wasn't quite what he had hoped it would be. As it turned out, he wasn't interested in getting anything going in a home-based business based in the health field. But through an extended conversation I had with him, I found out that he was a former DNA researcher, and just for fun, he was a runner. He loved to run and go out and run. But he also, I found out when I was talking to him, that he had some injuries. And we began talking about antioxidants. I mean, the guy could talk. He knew a lot about supplementation and what goes on inside of the body and all of that. And I talked to him about a lot of those things. So he was pretty impressed about the science behind the USANA products. Now, over the span of probably another 2 or 3 calls, I get to know this gentleman. And he's not interested in the business, but I find out that he has an injury. He has a problem with his Achilles heel. Now, I've had some experience with tendinitis and tendinosis and all that stuff, and I knew some things that worked for me that I had done. So I got this information, and I sent it to him. And he started using it, and he appreciated it, and I checked back with him a couple of weeks later, and he's starting to get some results from these exercises that I had sent him. I mean, it took me a little bit of time to find the information, but now it's in the context of something that he needed, right? Just like how is that football player related to the wine business? Well, Edmund had this Achilles heel problem. He's doing the exercises. Things are starting to get better. And I start talking to him more about recovery and supplementation, and he decides to try the USANA Health Pack. So he orders it. It's a one-time deal, orders it, starts taking it, loves it. And over another call or two, he becomes a preferred customer. Now, the thing that actually brought him in as a preferred customer was the fact that I was interested in him, I wanted to make his life better, and I was giving him some valuable information that could help him out. I didn't go for I built a relationship with him. I mean, I know him well. I have him on my call schedule now to call him every 6 weeks just to see how he's doing. I called him yesterday. I didn't reach him, but I just left a message. Hey, Edmund, how you doing? Hope your running's going well. Things are working out, and just want to see how you're doing. If you need anything, if there's anything I can help you with, let me know. Talk to you later. Bye. I probably won't hear back from him because I usually don't when I call and I don't get him. But when I do get him, we have a great little conversation for maybe 5-10 minutes. And he's actually tried some other products, and he's interested in ordering some more products for his daughter now, who's also in cross country in high school. So that's, in a nutshell, that's context marketing. And using some information that I gathered. Now, I didn't gather that over social media, but I gathered it with my conversation with him. So let's see. Now, we're talking about, Gary talks about lifetime value and customer retention. So let's take that health pack. That's 100 points. I'm going to just run through these numbers. Don't glaze out on the numbers on me. Health pack's 100 points. Standard USANA commission on that, if you have 3 business centers, is 20% commission. So that's $20 commission every 4 weeks. There's 13 order periods per year. That's a $260 yearly commission. Okay, we'll say 10 years. We won't go lifetime. Let's go 10 years for the sake of our numbers. So that's $2,600 in total commission, assuming he stays a customer for 10 years. We have lots of USANA customers who have been customers for way over 10 years. It's not unusual. We have one of the highest customer retention rates in the business because of the quality of our products. So let's just take a look at this and see what the return on investment is. 1 year return on investment. So $260 yearly commission that I earn. Now, I don't have 5 hours in yet with him. From all the stuff we've talked about, the extra information I sent him, I probably have about 3.5 hours. But let's just say by the end of this year, I connect with him again. We get into a nice chat about running and fitness and all that. Let's say I invest 5 hours for this year. Okay, 5 hours divided into 260 says I'm making $52 an hour. That's a great return on investment for my time. $52 an hour. And I get that because I formed a relationship with him, and not because I was trying to sell him something. I was working at helping him. Now let's expand that out a little bit here. Let's take that out for 10 years. And let's look at the bottom there. Let's say I spend 7.5 minutes every 4 weeks for 9 years. So I spend another 15 hours staying in a relationship with Edmund, plus the 5 hours for the 1 year that I'll just put in. That gives me 20 hours over 10 years. Divide 20 hours invested into $2,600 worth of commission. That's $130 an hour. Does it pay to outcare a competitor? You bet it does. It's amazing what customer retention can do for your business. He's also talking, he said his daughter's cross-country coach might be interested. So these are very conservative numbers. That's what customer retention and forming that emotional connection and outcaring anybody that we're competing with. Like you have to have a superior product. You have to have all of those things we already have in place. So one more little tidbit here from Gary Vaynerchuk. Social media has transformed our world into one big small town, dominated as all vibrant towns used to be by the strength of relationships, the currency of caring, and the power of word of mouth. In order to succeed now and in the future, it's going to be imperative that we remember what worked in the past. We're going back to the way it used to be in small towns, probably 70 years or more ago, where you need to have a relationship with somebody that you're going to be doing business with. Now, why we as USANA distributors are uniquely positioned to leverage and take advantage of the thank you economy. Our company, USANA Health Sciences, according to Consumer Reports surveys of customers, we have the highest customer satisfaction rating of any supplement company in the United States, bar none. USANA has the highest customer service rating of any company. Now, we're distributors. We're the front end for that. We have to do our part to make sure that we're delivering a superior customer experience to match USANA's. We have unique products that are the highest rated nutritional supplements in the world. Nobody makes a higher quality product. Nobody. We have elite and Olympic athletes flocking to use our products because of the performance edge it gives them, the recovery time it gives them, all things I've experienced myself. We're in network marketing, which excels at one-on-one marketing. Think about that. We are where everybody else is headed, even large corporations. Now, I'll tell you, in Gary's book, The Thank You Economy, he spends a big part of that book talking to large companies as to why and how they should change the way they're doing business, or they're actually, a lot of them will be going out of business, and how to scale and give that one-on-one personal attention. We're already there. You know, I have my websites set up, as a lot of you do. I have my presence out on Facebook. All of those things are happening as I'm building my relationships. Now, I'll tell you, I don't do everything as perfectly as the example I gave you of Edmund. There's customers that I have literally taken for granted and ignored. And I have to go back and go through my customer list again and make sure that I'm contacting all of my customers on a regular basis. Maybe it's only every 2 months I'm calling and contacting them just to see how they're doing, not to sell them anything. Now, I can tell you I do that with a lot of my customers, and when I do, a lot of times they'll adjust their order. They'll even add things to their order. But you want to keep and build that unique relationship. We have just a tremendous opportunity now. So when you're out on Facebook, it's not to push a bunch of information at people about our products. It's about forming a relationship with people and helping them, regardless of whether it's with our product or business. Many of those people over time will become our customers or fellow distributors. It's the way it's going. It's the way the economy's going, and it's what people want and need. We are uniquely positioned with our products and our company and the model of business that we have. I highly recommend Gary's 2 books, Crush It, particularly Crush It if you really want to get into and understand and know how and why social media is where it's at. And his last book that he wrote, The Thank You Economy, really will, if you're not convinced now that customer service needs to be your number one priority as you're building a business, you'll understand it completely after you read his book. And he mentions company after company that have done that and had extraordinary results, absolutely extraordinary. And that's why USANA is a $500 million a year company now. I believe within the next 3 to 5 years, USANA will easily go to a $1 billion a year company because it's in the company's DNA. That's what Gary says. It needs to be in your DNA. And this is definitely in our DNA. So with that, I will turn the call over to Mr. Lopez. Are you out there, Chris?
Yes, I am, George. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right.
I'll go ahead and log off here. And so if anybody experiences a little glitch in the slides, just refresh the site and they should come right back up.
Yeah, we are transitioning over
okay,
to the slides. While we do that, George, I challenge you to say Gary Vaynerchuk's name 5 times fast, if you can pull that off.
Gary Vaynerchuk, very Gannerchuk. That's not fair. Last night I was up to almost 3:30 in the morning, and I was up pretty early this morning, so he's taking it. That's pretty hard to say that fast. He's got an interesting name. There's some great information. His website, GaryVaynerchuk.com. He's got where he's about an hour long, where he actually comes out and introduces his book. His story's amazing, being a Russian immigrant, and the whole story of how they started out. It's a great story, and very, very heartwarming story. The guy works hard. He just truly cares about his employees, as USANA does. USANA has won award after award. I think we were number 17 or 20 this year, Outside Magazine, where they rate the best companies to work for in the United States. That was one of the things he talked about, is companies that actually do that for their employees are walking their talk, and that makes a big difference, because USANA couldn't be the number one rated company in customer satisfaction if the company wasn't treating the employees extremely well. And I've been to their convention. I've talked to the employees. They love working at USANA Health Sciences. So we have an amazing company and an amazing team here, and we're the front end for that. We're the front end to the rest of the world. We're the ones that are out there that are getting the customers and finding other people who also want to flourish with the USANA distributorship. We are definitely on the right track here, the way we're doing business. And I appreciate the way, one of the things I didn't mention earlier was when I first started in this business and I started getting a nice collection of customers going, Chris looked at me and said, "What's your plan for customer retention?" And I was like a deer in the headlights. I was like, customer retention? What's that? And why is it important? And so Chris has been working with me and the rest of us. He's putting together a new program now with Integritas so that we can have something in place to stay in contact with our customers and give them a better customer experience. Because as you saw in those numbers I put together, it's just absolutely amazing what just one customer on a health pack can make a huge difference in your business. Now, you don't have to get too many of those kind of customers in your business to be making a lot of money. How are the slides coming along there, Chris?
I'm all ready to go, George.
Okay. Well, I'll just I'll shut down now and hand the call off to you.
All right, great. Thanks a lot. All right. So for my half of the call, just about a 15 to 20-minute training module I'll share with you guys is, since we're about 3 weeks away from the new year, it's the time people start setting goals for the next year or doing New Year's resolutions. Call it what you want. You start planning out what you want to accomplish next year. And I've done my fair share of goal planning, and a lot have gone horrible, and a lot have gone right, but it took me some time to figure out what went well and what did not go well. As I've trained other people over the years, I've seen some things that I'm training people to do and not to do. So the whole point of this is to make sure you're setting the right type of goals for your success. Now, traditional goal setting actually sets you up for failure. And I say traditional goal setting, that's where I've read a lot of different goal setting books, or you attend trainings or seminars, and people go up there and say, go up there and set your goal, figure out what you want to do, give yourself a deadline, and then go out there and do it, and just get psyched up for it and go out there and get it done. And that's a lot of times what traditional goal setting is. And an example here is, let's say you want to make $100,000 a year residual, a nice full-time income on a residual basis. And so your goal is to have that within 3 years, so by December 2014. And then traditional goal setting says, we'll work backwards. So that third year will make $100,000, that second year so-and-so, and first year make $50,000. And then break it down, your first month make this, your second month make this, and kind of stair-step, build it up. And then you'll come down to doing, monthly goals or weekly goals to get that done. So things like, I'm going to enroll 10 PCs every month and enroll 4 associates every month, and then help my team double that by enrolling 20 PCs and 10 associates. I've set goals like this in the past, and I bet a lot of people on the conference call have as well. Well, what usually happens as you go out there and start working towards these goals or achieving these things or going for achieving these things? Well, life happens. You miss a sub-goal. You don't get those 10 customers that month if there's 4 associates. Or that first month you don't hit your income goal of $1,000 a month or whatever income goal a month it is. And then it goes through, you say, okay, I can deal with that. I'll just work extra hard next month and get it done. Well, the next month, you don't achieve 10 customers or 4 associates again, and you start getting into this like love-hate relationship. And what ends up getting, I say love-hate with yourself, because you start getting, you start feeling guilty, and then you start questioning, can I really do this? Well, maybe I'm just a failure. And we all do this because, in my experience, if you're the type of person to set a goal and actually take the time to plan it out, you'll take personal responsibility for what you get done and what you don't get done. And a lot of the training we receive and the personal development training we get, puts it squarely on your shoulders or on our shoulders. And I agree, yeah, it's ultimately up to us to achieve our goals, but if we're using a flawed system, we're setting ourselves up for failure from the get-go. And so as you repeat this, the first month or two, it doesn't matter, but consistently you don't hit your goals and you start shying away from things or fading away. I mean, think back to how many times have you kind of stepped away from USANA or another project or another business because you kind of get in this cycle or this trap of setting goals and then not achieving it. And then you fade away and it's like, you know what, I'm going to just come back and redo it again. You get yourself more pumped up, set your goals, and the same thing happens again. And ultimately, all this leads to failure. Because if you're not, the whole point of setting goals and a plan to achieve your goals is to help you go out there and get success. So if the plan you set for yourself and the system you're using sets you up for failure, you're just, you're not going to achieve what you want to. So I kind of came up with a method, and I can't take credit for it. I've just, I think, pieced together lots of different how to get things done books, different books I've read, and just reflecting on my own experiences of what's worked well, what's not worked well. And I call it the zigzag method. So I've on the left-hand side there, the traditional goal-setting method where it's kind of linear. You say, okay, well, today's December 13th, 2011, and by December, 13th, 2015, I'm going to be making $100,000 a month, and you go back and set those yearly, monthly, weekly stepping goals that get to that goal, assuming everything, you go from A, B, C, D, and everything works well. Well, that's great in theory, but when you start doing it, it falls apart just like I talked about. And so what I do and what I teach is the zigzag method. Instead of trying to come up with a perfect system that looks great on paper, you need to use a system and a philosophy that actually accepts the way life is for both what, we all have our ups and downs, we have our good weeks and bad weeks, and also things that are just completely out of our control. Life happens sometimes for, good. You have something great happen in your life, and it throws you up in business for 2 weeks. Or, something bad happens, there's a medical emergency or, a death in the family. You get thrown off track. Or like George this weekend, he got rear-ended. I mean, that's, you cannot, that stuff happens, unfortunately, and it throws you off course for a few days. Your computer dies. You have to deal with it. It's reality. And you can pump up yourself with so much self-talk or so much, motivational tapes. It's not going to fix your computer or save you that 20 hours that you have to put into and getting your car fixed or all the paperwork you have to do. So the zigzag method actually is more built around the way life works. So let me run you through a few examples. And there's 2 main parts to the zigzag method. Part 1 is setting the right type of goals. And I say right type of goals, and those are goals that are actions that you can accomplish with certainty. getting 10 PCs every month, you cannot guarantee that you'll do that every month. But you can guarantee and hold yourself accountable to talking to 20 new people that month, putting your relationships to 20 new people, and that might lead to so many customers, so many associates. And after you talk to, so many contacts, you kind of start, or so many people, you start figuring out your numbers. Well, if I want to get 10 customers a month, I need to talk to, 100 new people a month, so I have a 10%, 10% of people sign up then. Great. Well, now you know your numbers. So if you want 10 PCs, you say, well, I want to talk to 100 people a month. You also, the right type of goals allow you to diagnose, so you can look back and see what's working well, what's not, and what do I need to do to improve that. And then having specific measurable metrics. So metrics are different things in the process. So, learning how to do a script, talking to so many people. If I talk to 10 people, I get one customer. If I talk to 30 people about the business, I get one associate. You figure out some ratios. You figure out some numbers. So to run those side by side, I've got traditional goal setting on the left of what I went through earlier, enrolling 10 PCs, 4 associates, and having your team enroll 20 PCs and 10 associates. You can't guarantee that stuff for yourself or for your team. I've set goals where I wanted to enroll 5 associates every single month, and guess what? I didn't do it. I went through that whole cycle. And trying to make your team accomplish something, you'll have better luck pushing a rope, as the saying goes. So to kind of give you a way to set the goals with the zigzag method, these are specific goals that you can accomplish and do. So you can write out and practice the product story or your business story or the Dr. Win story. Just exactly what George trained on a few weeks ago. You can practice. This week I'm going to write out and kind of figure out my story. And then the following week I'm going to practice it 5 times a day in front of the mirror. And then the following week I'm going to practice it 5 times a day with my friends, and then I'll be all good. And so you can break that down so you can accomplish it. You can say, okay, well, I'm going to shoot for making 10 connects a day, 10 new connects a day, whether it's leads or new people, and you do that. And you start doing it for a while, and you realize, well, hey, I can't get 10 connects a day. And maybe that's because your schedule gets so busy, because since you're talking to so many new people a day, after 2 weeks, then you get so many people in follow-up, you simply can't keep connecting with 10 new people a day, and that's fine. Or maybe you go for that, and after a couple of weeks, you talk to 3 people, and you diagnose why. Well, I don't have enough people to talk with. I set this goal, but I'm not meeting it. Okay, so I need to figure out how can I meet more people. I can go out there and start going to networking groups. I can, learn some basics for doing lead generation online, or I can, get to this activity a half an hour before, stay after, and meet people, and just get to know people, get to church early and meet people, whatever. Rather than setting a goal for yourself of growing 20 PCs for your team, you can't force that, but you can set your own goal to, hey, I'm going to touch base with all my, key people this week and coach them, see where they're at, set some plans, and see what we can do. I can commit to a $300 a month marketing budget. So you can do things like that you have complete control over. And if you do those things, that's what leads to 10 PCs. That's what leads to 4 associates. That's what leads to your team duplicating. Now, the second part of the zigzag method is accepting, or you accept the fact and realize that nothing ever goes according to plan. I'll bet George $1 right now, but anyone $1 right now on the call that George is not planning on getting rear-ended on Sunday. That wasn't part of the plan, but it happened. And so rather than getting stressed out and focused on those things, you just accept it. That will make things less stressful for you. It'll take guilt off, and it makes you less anxious, and it actually allows you to get things done. And then as you go forward and get things done, you focus on and celebrate your progress, your successes. Hey, you know what? I might have worked with a person for 2 weeks and help them come up with their story. Let's say I worked with George, help them come up with this product story and business story. We practiced it. And maybe I spent 10 hours with them doing it. It didn't lead directly to a preferred customer that week or a new associate that week. But guess what? I just taught him a skill for life, and the next 10 years while I was actually building USANA, I'm getting a return on that time I invested. That's something, I can cross off, and, you celebrate as you get those little things done. And then you consistently move forward. No matter what, you always move forward. Pick one of those random things that happens in life and you deal with it, but you always do a little bit to move forward. Maybe you don't get as much done as you wanted to that week or that day or that month, but you do something. A couple steps forward is better than nothing. The last couple of days, I had a major issue with my laptop. I could spend 10 hours the last couple of days fixing my laptop. Not what I wanted to do, but I had to get it done. But I still kept getting other projects done and getting those important things done. And then, what I do on a weekly basis, you do on a weekly or monthly basis, plan, reflect, and diagnose. Look back to, what's your setting, what's working well, what's not working well, and reflect and diagnose. So that's kind of in a nutshell the zigzag method. And all of this, those two things, setting the right type of goals and following those principles of just accepting curveballs of life, will actually help you accomplish a lot more of your goals without the guilt and the stress and the anxiety while you're doing it. Often what's I've seen happen myself and other people I've coached, you kind of do those traditional goal settings where you start missing some milestones or some sub-goals. You start, doubting yourself, and it creates a downward spiral. Whereas with this method, as you get things done, you get your product story done this week, you get your business story done this week, you get this done, you get this done, you write a couple articles on your website, whatever it is, it has the exact opposite effect. It creates upward spiral, where you're having success, and success builds upon success and actually creates more momentum. It gets you accomplishing more, kind of gets you in that zone. Your confidence builds up, your energy increases, and then it kind of gets you to that tipping point where your business just starts taking off. Well, it's because you got done lots of little measurable items along the way. And so I'm not saying don't set, big long-term goals of, hey, I want to make $100,000 a year residual income. Hey, I want to get this done by year such and such. Still set those goals, but you accomplish those goals by doing what we talked about, doing the right type of goals. And if you set a goal for 5 years from now of making $100,000 a year, and you don't hit it, you know what? You follow the zigzag principle. Maybe you didn't hit $100,000, but maybe you made $40,000 that year. That's still very, very good. I've set some personal goals this year for my own business, for USANA, and I didn't achieve them all. Unexpected things came up. Some projects in Integris took longer. We had some unexpected marketing curveballs with Google. But it's all stuff we have to take care of, and by taking care of it, it's going to have a much bigger effect down the road, for my own business, for my downline, and everyone else involved. You always keep working forward. And this is a picture here of Simon Chan, who's now he's either a diamond director or a one-star diamond director in USANA, and he joined, I think it was like November 14th, 2003 was when he joined, and he put that date on his laptop as 5 years out of wanting to be, a full-time earner in USANA or a six-figure earner in USANA, and that was his goal. He saw it, 50 times a day, and that's what he kept working towards. So methods like that. Another very popular method is doing dream boards. This is not my dream board. This is just one I found on the internet as an example, where you post pictures up of what you're working towards, what you're accomplishing. Because oftentimes, we kind of set these goals. Well, when I get this done, or I want to achieve $100,000 a year, there's always goals afterwards, and it's usually a work in progress. Just like working out at the gym or getting the type of physique you want, always a work in progress. So is your business. You still set goals, but really accept that things are going to, be in flux. They're going to change. So here's an action plan, and I'm doing this myself. I started this last week, and I'm going to finish it up either this week or the week over Christmas. I'm just resetting my goals for next year and some longer-term goals. I've got goals for next year. I've also got goals, longer-term goals for my own USANA business, other ideas I have in all different areas. So I'm going to determine where I'm going. That's the big picture and long term. So what I would recommend you guys do for an action plan, setting your goals, determine where you're going and do something that will help you, stay focused on it. A dream board, taping a sticker to your laptop, carrying around a note card in your wallet, putting a note card on the mirror you see every day. What I do is I put my goals and my dream board as my desktop wallpaper. So every time I'm at my computer, I see my goals, I see my dream board, I see it, hundreds of times a day, and it's always there. I'm always knowing I'm working towards that. That's where I'm going. And then go back and determine action steps and projects that get you there. And this is, doing things like, okay, I'm going to commit to a $300 a month marketing budget, or I'm going to cancel cable TV to free up time and free up a marketing budget. I'm going to commit to spending 5 hours a week for learning this new skill. I'm going to do 20 new connects a week. Whatever. Set different goals and also different projects that you need to complete to get that done. And then work the plan. It's pretty simple. Work the plan, and then on a regular basis, plan, reflect, and diagnose. So with that, I'll open up any questions. Questions for George from his half, or questions online. Just remember on the goal setting, go to facebook.com/Integritus group, and you can post the questions there. And so while anyone's getting questions out there, a fun exercise, if anyone's up for it, write out your goals. Do that example of what I just, or follow that example I just showed you. Write your goals if you want to. Post them on Facebook. Share with us for next week's call. Do whatever. If sharing them publicly helps you achieve them, do it. But I would recommend you really, really follow that type of goal setting, because it truly sets you up for success. And I can tell you from 8 years of building USANA, nothing goes as planned when it comes to building USANA. Just like nothing else in life goes according to plan. So George, do you have any comments or anything to throw on there? Anything I missed? Any key points I may have missed?
No, and I think the key thing that I got out of that I learned from you in this whole planning process is to really, like you said, I can plan to put in 40 hours a week building my business. I can change how I'm focusing that time. But it doesn't mean that at the end of that 40 hours a week I'm going to have 2 new associates or 5 new PCs or anything like that. And that changed everything for me. When I was talking to Gemma Hughes, when she realized that she was in this for the long haul, that's when her business really started taking off. Instead of trying to cram a whole bunch of stuff, and because it turns you into one of those push marketers then, right? You're out there trying to push to get to meet that specific goal of, I gotta get this person in as a PC, instead of, I really need to be giving this person the best customer experience possible. Now that's how Gary Vaynerchuk did it, and that's how he built himself a $60 million a year business. He definitely has goals. I mean, one of his big goals is he wants to buy the New York Jets. That's his plan, and they're a pretty expensive franchise now. We're talking like $1 billion. But that's his goal. That's his long-term goal. But the whole thing is to really set the plan so that these are things that you can actually achieve. Next week I can say, pretty well, hey, next week I'm going to put a minimum of 40 hours a week in on building my business. I'm going to spend this much time preparing for the call to train my team. I'm going to spend this much time making calls, talking to people. And if I don't have people to talk to, then I'm spending the time to find the people to talk to. So I can be successful next week no matter what. At the end of the week I can go, I really worked at what I needed to do, and the results vary. I mean, like you said, some weeks it's amazing. You just go, holy man, people are calling you up that you haven't heard from, and you're getting new customers and new orders. And other weeks, you're working real hard and you're planting those seeds, and they're not sprouting yet.
And the other, this is one thing I wanted to throw in there too. You touched on this a while ago, George, but the whole 10,000-hour rule principle, where a lot of people's success can be directly attributed to how much time they've invested into a skill or an area or anything like that. And that's a big part of the success. You don't have to have 10,000 hours in USANA to make a full-time income, but you're probably in a few thousand hours in USANA or in previous network marketing experience to get that done. And doing goals like this and putting the time into zigzagging, doing it every single week, hey, maybe, like George said, you don't get 40 hours in that week, but you got 20 hours in and you got some projects done. Well, that's 20 hours closer to 10,000 hours in more the previous week.
That is just, what you just said is right on the money. The time I've spent learning about the USANA product line and learning about supplementation actually allowed me to talk to Edmund, who was a DNA researcher. I could talk at his level of understanding, pretty much, not totally, but enough so that I could carry on a decent conversation with him. Now, when I was spending the time to learn the science and to really learn about supplementation to the level that I wanted to learn it, because it was one of my passions and interests, that time wasn't talking to clients, but it allowed me, it was part of that 10,000 hours I'm putting in to be able to actually, when I run into somebody like that, I just don't have to go, well, I don't know. I mean, it's okay to say you don't know, but my point is we're putting in that 10,000 hours to build our skill set to be able to take our business where we want it to go. I mean, I know that you, in particular, are putting a tremendous amount of time into learning, online marketing. I'm learning that as well, but you're just developing a very deep expertise there for your online marketing, and it takes time to learn those things and to become a Google certified AdWords expert. All those kind of things that you're working on, that's not only helping you but helping the whole team, and that's not necessarily talking to a prospect, but it's laying the foundation to bring so we can engage more people who are interested in the products or the business.
Well, and I think I've got nothing more to add, George. I'm going to just push out to the next slide and just, what actions are you taking to move your business and your health forward this week? Maybe it's reading a book like George just did, last couple of days. Maybe it's doing goal setting, whatever it is. Plan those things out and do specific measurable items or actions or projects that you can accomplish. Hey, put 5 hours into practicing your script, not I'm going to get 20 associates this week or, whatever, 2 associates this week.
I'd say lack of action is the biggest killer for anybody that's building any kind of a business, particularly a home-based business. It's so easy to get distracted by other things and not put your time and effort into your business. People that have a job where they have to be there, I'll watch them. They put their hours in. In a home-based business, for some reason, all of a sudden they try and do that. They're not putting in their 20 or 25 hours a week. They're getting in a few hours or nothing, week after week after week, and then they get discouraged. Their business isn't growing. So once again, it really does come down to action. Well, if anybody has a quick question, *6 in. We'll give you about 30 seconds if you have a burning question for Chris or I, or maybe just a not-so-burning question before we call it a night.
And I've been saying this, and I'm just going to reiterate it again. I hope everyone get your goal set, get a budget figured out, get time set aside for this new year. Here in the next couple of weeks, Jason and I will really share the whole plan we have for just what we're going to do, from everything from marketing to new training to, some weekly things, community building. We've got a whole bunch of stuff planned that are completely business building focused, and that for those people who are taking advantage of it, because I can tell you, Jason and I are going to take full advantage of everything we're doing. For other people out there who are on board with that and put the time into it, it's going to be a great time. So part of your goal is to get in alignment with that. So Jason and I have not spent the last 18 months putting this infrastructure together for the plans we have on maxing out 11 business centers with the next couple of years. So we're going to be hitting it very hard, but doing it all with ways so anyone else who wants to step up to the plate, hop on and join the momentum with us can do it. So do action this week. Start planning out some goals, getting some things figured out, and getting set up for the new year.
Okay, no further questions this week, so I would like to thank everybody, particularly any of our guests that are out there on the call. Thank you for coming to the call. You know you can get in contact with whoever suggested or brought you to the call. This business is it's an amazing business to be in, and we're in a business that is on the cusp of the way business is going to be done in the future, which is, I find it just so exciting and fulfilling to be able to build a business by just caring so much about what we're doing and about our customer experience and about the people that we're bringing into the business and training in this business. It actually warms my heart tremendously to be working this business. With that, I will say good night to everyone and have a great week and see you on the call next week.
Hey, thanks a lot, George. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.